belts. Blockbusters. You are listening to the Triple B Podcast. Let's fucking go.
Welcome back to the Triple B Podcast, Bourbon, Belts, and Blockbusters. I'm Ryan.
I'm Tim.
And this is a show where we drink on some bourbon or cocktails with bourbon, primarily.
Yep.
We talk about wrestling and we talk about blockbusters. We are back with episode 26.
Episode 26, man.
And we got our cocktail of the week. It's an early morning. We are actually immediately after we finish this episode. We're going to keep it kind of short and sweet today because we have about a 3.5 hour drive ahead of us. We're driving up to Vancouver, BC to go to Survivor Series War Games. Let's go.
Let's do it.
In that kind of vein, we decided to do a coffee cocktail this week. So we did a Kentucky coffee. It's 1.5 ounces of bourbon. You kind of just fill up your mug with coffee after that. I said 5 to 6 ounces, depending on what you're rolling with. A tablespoon of brown sugar, and then you just top it with some milk. Add it all to the mug, stir, and enjoy. So
we're going to enjoy it now.
Hell yeah, we are. Let's try her out.
Happy holidays, man.
Yeah, man. That's good.
That is good.
That's not bad at all. The coffee does a really good job of like cutting the bourbon.
Yeah.
I was honestly a little well, the one thing about having like a nice bourbon like we did for that one with the Jefferson Ocean is then I'm like, I don't want to add that to a cocktail.
I know.
You know? I was like, fuck, I don't want to just sip on that. But that was really nice. That's super smooth.
I think the caramel actually helps a lot, like that.
Yeah.
Taste in the
for sure.
Jefferson Ocean comes
like,
through the coffee a little bit.
I can taste, like I can have like the full flavor of the bourbon, but there's none of like the backside kick or anything. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What do you think? What are you giving it?
I'm gonna give it. I'll give it a 7. Give it a 7.
What the fuck? I didn't have, my hands were full, so I couldn't do what I usually do. But I looked down and I was like, I'm gonna go with a 7. Then you said that. Yeah, I'm right there. It's it's above average.
Yeah.
It's not blowing my socks off by any means, but it's definitely like one that I could see myself ordering this in the morning. It's perfect for winter. It's cold outside. Tomorrow's December 1st. So
hell yeah, man.
Yeah. 7
Sweet.
All around. Sweet.
I like it. We got our socials. You can find us on Instagram, X, YouTube, TikTok at Trip B Pod. We're also on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Triple B Podcast, Bourbon, Belts, and Blockbusters. And you can email us at triplebpod619@gmail.com.
Absolutely.
Love to hear from you guys and get social with us. So
yeah, for sure. All right, we're back. We got another rendition of our Triple B fact check.
Yeah,
Tim's
man.
turn this week, so I have no idea what we were wrong about last week.
Not a lot wrong. Some were just, interesting facts. So let's get right to it.
All right.
We talked about War Games, and you talked about Seth Rollins only being in one, and we thought that he'd been in all of them. Just wanted to list a fun fact. Io Sky has been in every women's War Games match, from NXT to the main roster,
including today.
This year's. Yeah.
So, wow.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Dolph Ziggler, we talked about his 2 reigns. I forgot about his very, very short reign, and it was less than a night.
Yeah.
He didn't win it, though. You said he won it. He was handed it by Vicky Guerrero.
Oh, that's true. That is true. Because
stripped Edge of the title.
Edge hit the spear to win. That's right. Yeah.
And then Edge won it back that same night. So very, very short reign. I totally forgot about that, but once I read about it, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. We went over The Other Woman was a Cameron Diaz movie, and you said it had Leslie Mann, Cameron Diaz, and you said Kate Hudson.
I meant Kate Upton.
Kate Upton.
As soon as I was like, yeah, I said the wrong Kate. That's right.
I said that Geno Smith only rushed 2 times at the end of the game. He actually rushed 4 times that game, and he really didn't get much yardage from those other 2 rushes.
Was it 4 times on that final drive?
No, it was 2 times on the final drive, but
okay.
4 times total. I did say he rushed 2 times on that last rush, but I said that was the only time he did it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Factions on SmackDown. You said that there was only 2, the Bloodline and Legado del Fantasma. Technically, you're right, but there's the OG Bloodline now who has a main presence on SmackDown, even though they are both shows. So it was like a loose fact check there. We talked about Heyman and Punk getting attacked the same night. It was not the same night. It was a week apart. Okay. It first was Punk in Chicago, and then Heyman was attacked the following week. So
still
it was
makes
very
sense.
close.
Still makes sense too as to why Punk didn't come for a save either. Because it has happened before. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We talked about Wild Hogs, and we talked about Dr. Perry Cox. And
Couldn't remember the
actor name. I still wouldn't have guessed this at all. So John C. McGinley is that actor's name.
I don't know that I ever knew his name.
Yeah,
he's just been Dr. Cox.
Yeah. Jamie Foxx's last stand-up and release date. You kind of were like, we don't know the release date, but December 10th is apparently when it's going to become up. It's called What Happened Was... And then the last time he did stand up was 18 years ago. And he says it's been way too long. And you said American Made has been around about a month, and I think you were just using that as a phrase, like just you knew they were longer, but they formed in July 15th is when they came up. Power Rangers soundtrack. I said a song, Kids Are Back in Town. I meant Boys Are Back in Town, but that song was actually not in the movie either. So I was like double wrong. But the song I was actually thinking about was Higher Ground, which you did mention, the Red Hot Chili Peppers cover. And then just fun little fact, Randy Orton does hold the longest tenure of active wrestlers, debuting on the roster 2002 and still active and going. So
is that the longest? That's the longest active. Is it the longest?
I don't.
It wouldn't be the longest ever. No, because there was like
Undertaker,
Jericho, even.
Yeah,
but I guess he's been on multiple.
Yeah,
thanks. I don't know.
But just with one company, but currently active, Randy Orton holds the longest one. Nice. That's why I put active, so I didn't have to get fact checked on that one. But that's what I got for that.
All right, nice.
Not too much.
Not too much at all. We're cleaning it up each week a little bit, here and there.
I think we're watching ourselves a little bit,
a little bit more. Yeah, I like it. I'm happy we started doing that. Cool. All right, well, we got a little bit of football to talk about, a little bit of exciting football to talk about on both sides here, because first off, the Titans knocked off the Texans.
Yeah, they did.
Nobody saw that coming.
Never saw that coming.
Yeah, nobody saw that coming. And what was it? Do you remember what the score was of that game?
It was a very close game. I don't.
It ended up being like a one score, right?
Yeah,
it was like 27-20 or 17-10 or something like that. Yeah. I know there was a 7 in there.
The Titans held the lead the whole time.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. So that's cool. That's exciting. I know you're a fan. So
hell yeah.
But let's talk about our home team,
the Seahawks.
Seattle Seahawks, baby. They are 6-5. We're coming off back-to-back wins against huge matchups for us because it's back-to-back division wins. Whereas before those two games, we were 0-2 in the division. Then we knock off San Fran. We knock off Arizona, who was in first, to then give us first. And not only that, but we then had also the Rams and the Niners both lose.
Yeah.
So we're legit in first place. Yes, we're tied at 6-5 with Arizona, but we now own the head-to-head over them. Handful of stats from the game that I thought were definitely worth mentioning. So we beat them at home 16-6, which is huge in and of itself because we have played like crap at home this year. Mm-hmm. Like we've played terribly, but our defense fucking they're getting on track right now, man, and it's
balled
showing,
out.
especially against an offense like Arizona, who has been a fucking legit offense. You know, like their rushing game has been huge. They have a couple really good pass catchers. Was it Trey McBride's their tight end, who's a fucking baller, and then obviously Marvin Harrison Jr. And then you have like pretty much all the threats that we were kind of worried about last week going into this game, right? When Kyler Murray, like, we fucking completely shut them down. So, Big Cat, our dog.
He was a beast, dude.
Dude.
I had that
fucking
down.
The presence. Oh, my God. Leonard Williams, dude. 6 total tackles, which doesn't sound like something huge, but his presence in that game was huge. Drawing double teams on I think it was like 50% or even maybe a little higher of his fucking defensive snaps, drawing double teams. That is huge as for the rest of your defense, because everyone else then that was causing havoc was stemming from them using 2 guys to defend Leonard Williams.
Yeah, exactly.
So he had 3 tackles for a loss. He had 2.5 sacks by himself, and he had a fucking pass defense.
Yeah.
Like, this motherfucker is crazy. To continue in that line, we have Kobe Bryant, who started the year as like a 3rd string backup this year. You know, we had Julian Love, Rayshawn Jenkins, and then the other guy that's on
Kayvon Wallace.
Kayvon Wallace. So Kobe's had been switched from corner to safety. He was riding the bench pretty much. Then we got a couple free agent signees go down. He gets an opportunity and
hasn't let go.
hasn't let go, and he is our starting safety next to Julian Love now, and I think for a good goddamn reason. He's taken advantage of every opportunity he's had on the field. He's a fucking ball hawk. He might be the best ball hawk on our team, honestly. Like, He's really good. He had the 6 solo tackles, 1 pass defended, and he had, which was, you know, kind of the almost solidifying moment in the game, was he had the pick 6.
Yeah.
But talking about the pick 6 play, the real star of that play wasn't even Kobe Bryant for the catch and the return, because the catch itself, it was kind of right place, right time.
Yeah.
Right. But that happened purely and only because of Devin Witherspoon.
I had that down.
That fucking play, I would recommend anybody, even if you don't really understand football all that much, go watch that play, and just to see the athleticism in it was insane. He is coming off the edge to play the run.
Yeah,
he
was
bites down on the run. He sees Kyler Murray pull it and take off. He spins, and Kyler Murray is one of the fastest, most agile quarterbacks in the league. He has a step or 2 steps to the outside on Spoon, and Spoon fucking flips his hips and just burns it, dude. And he forces Kyler Murray was shocked. You could tell
he was gonna run
like
it.
he was gonna take off and try to pick up the first.
And I thought he had it,
but you could tell really quickly that he was like, oh shit, and he was like, I gotta get rid of the ball, and he just fucking throws an errant pass over his receiver straight to Kobe Bryant. And then that's not even it. Like, that just in and of itself was amazing. Witherspoon is taunting Kyler Murray on the sideline. After that happened, he didn't even realize that it was an interception yet. He's just taunting Kyler Murray because he knows that he didn't just pick it up. And then he turns and realizes Kobe Bryant is now returning it. He then flips his hips again and goes and lays out 2 dudes. James Conner was one of them. And then this is where the penalty got thrown. But he stands up after knocking James Conner and another dude out in 1 block, and he does the your small taunt to James Conner, who is significantly bigger than Devin Witherspoon.
The taunt didn't come from Kobe doing the hold my dick?
Nope.
No? Oh,
Nope.
okay.
The penalty was on Spoon doing that, walking over James Conner as he did it. That was what the taunt. They didn't, which shocked me. They didn't throw the flag on Kobe Bryant doing the
that's
the
what
Marshawn Lynch D's nuts, because Lynch always got flagged for that. Kobe Bryant did, so I don't know what that was about. But yeah, the penalty was on Spoon. So that was cool. We held Arizona's rushing attack, which is huge, to 49 total yards. Like, that's fucking big. After then holding the Niners under 100 yards last week, or I think it was under 100 total. Damn it, I'm gonna have to fact check it. But yeah, Couple other things that we need to work on to improve down the stretch run. Our running game has been abysmal. They got to figure that out. Ryan Grubb's got to. And I think a lot of it is a play calling situation because he's just not doing it enough, and it's hard to get into a groove, dude. When you have one of the best running backs in the league in Ken Walker, you gotta fucking use him, man. They're getting him involved in like check downs and stuff, which is great because he picked up, a handful of like really big plays for us. But yeah, the running game's pretty rough. Mistakes still an issue. Gino, this is his third inside the red zone interception that he's thrown when it didn't need to happen. Like this one might have been the worst because he could have picked up the first down on his with his legs.
I was wondering
problem.
Yeah.
Potentially even scored, maybe. If you do some ball fakes and stuff well enough. But definitely the first down. There was no question about that. And so it was just an unnecessary play. He didn't need to try to force it there. And he tried to force it. And like that would have kept us ahead even further. That would have made it like a 2-score game right there.
And I thought that drive personally was going to be the nail in the coffin. Like, we started back at the 10, I think.
Yeah.
You'll have to fact check that now. But no, it was a long drive. We were crushing it, and only to throw it away.
I know.
But
which is, unfortunately, that's a kind of trend for us right now, is doing that same type of thing. I mean, the Rams game that we lost in overtime, we had the ball inside the 5 twice on back-to-back drives. Gino threw a pick 6, and then the other one, like we said, should have been a defensive holding, but still threw another pick right there inside the 5. Like, that can't happen. So we got to clean up those things. We're continuing to have drive-killing penalties on the offensive line, just holds and stuff, while our offensive line does seem to be trending in the right direction, especially now that Anthony Bradford went on IR. There's still those kind of head-scratching things. Like, it's like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
Last little note from that game, JSN continues to emerge. He's showing out every week over these last few weeks. He went 6 for 6, 77 yards, and a touchdown. On the touchdown drive, he had the huge 46-yard screen play that was... I don't feel like there's very often where you get to see his speed shine because he's not the fastest receiver out there. But when he catches the ball in stride... he's not easy to bring down either, and he showed it there. And then the touchdown snag was beautiful.
It really
that
was.
Little fucking whip out route and just fingers, just grabs it and then gets it across the goal. It was a great play there. So
I had a couple of highlights just to build off that, and you've kind of alluded to it. Just that Witherspoon play. I don't know a lot about the ins and outs of how a play works, but I knew how impressive that was from him.
Yeah.
Him going for the run only to stop Kyler from running and cause the pick.
Most of the time in a play like that, you have, because it happens all the time, right? Where someone, they're on double duty, and that's like one of the hardest jobs that you can have in football, is trying to defend the edge for a run from an actual design run play from the running back and squeeze stuff down, but then also have to bounce and try to keep contained for that exact situation, a quarterback rollout or something. But for him to fully bite and then turn his back, flip his hips, turn his back, and then get out. Like, most of the time, even when somebody stays square, you're just hoping that they can, force the play out wide enough.
Yeah.
Right? In a situation like that where somebody is beat, you're not usually expecting them to then make the play.
Yeah.
So it's like, holy shit, man.
Yeah.
Mark Sanchez went on record and said that he believes Devin Witherspoon is the best football player he's ever seen.
Yeah, that was nice to hear.
Yeah. In his second year.
No kidding, right?
Whoa.
The JSN bubble screen, you talked about it, but that was just really, really beautiful. That canine hurdle. Dude.
That was so fucking sick.
Pharaoh Brown stuffing those 3 guys on
that fucking stiff arm, dude. He sent him to fucking another dimension. Yeah. He's in the quantum realm right now.
Yeah. And then I just, you talked about the run game, but I want to see more balance between K9 and Sharby. They started doing that a little bit, and I felt like it was starting to generate some runs there. Obviously, K9 needs to be the person getting the ball. He's our.
I think they need to establish the run with K9 before they start doing that. I think, and the reason I say that is Charbonnet continues to not show us enough of an ability to generate production. K9 has already shown us plenty. Our run game has been lacking. We got to push that forward. Start it with K9 and then add Charbonnet in. When they're already kind of on their heels from the run game, let Charbonnet then churn out the tough yards. But we don't need to be a two back every other drive type of carousel of a team. Let K9 just fucking cook, dude.
Yeah.
Utilize Charbonnet for sure, but he continues to. I think he's continuing to kind of disappoint with the opportunities that he is getting. So,
gotcha.
But
all right.
We got the Jets tomorrow in New York, 10 a.m. game here on the West Coast. It's 10 a.m. game. Typically in years past, I'd be like, "Fuck, it's 10 a.m. game." Recently, though, we're an away team, dude.
Yeah.
Like that we talked about it last week. We alluded to the fact that playing Arizona at home in the first of the two division games, we were like, fuck.
Yeah.
Because we haven't been playing at home well, so that was huge. But, I mean, we've been playing on the road really well. It's not a dome.
No.
But still, the Jets' offense looks pretty awful. But they're like the number 2 defense in the league for against the pass.
Yeah.
And we're the number 1 or number 2 passing offense right now, or at least like attempts of passing in a game. So it'll be interesting to see there. Their secondary is really good, but our passing game's really good too. Like our receivers are really fucking solid. So, what do you think?
I don't think there's an easy game here on out, and
Yeah.
you can't count. I know Rodgers is not a Rodgers of old, but that guy can extend plays all the time, and they do got weapons around him. So
for sure.
It's bound to kick off sometime,
Yeah.
and hopefully not at our expense. But the defense is mostly what I'm worried about. They do got a solid defense over there.
I think that's going to be the real. If our defense continues this trend that they've been on, and they play, even if they just play the same as they did last week.
Yeah. No, I think that
we should completely shut down the Jets offense.
Yeah.
But then it's going to be the real test is going to be our offense versus their defense.
Yeah,
for sure. So
I think we could squeak out the win.
I think it should be a win realistically for us, but
we definitely need this win. We got a very daunting later half of the schedule, but
yes, for sure.
If anyone can do it, it's the Hawks right now.
Damn right.
They beat back-to-back heavyweights
they sure
right
did.
now. So.
All right, Timmy, that brings us to bets. We are rocking. Timmy, what do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about Priest and Gunther showdown. This is their final showdown before Survivor Series today, and Priest just he's dominating the mic work against Gunther, and it's almost disheartening for me because I'm a big fan of Gunther, and he's looking so weak in this feud. But it's also really nice to see Priest because they did a quick face turn on him, and the crowd is eating it up. It could go very badly because he was a big heel with Judgment Day, and then just flipped the switch immediately, and the crowd has just been solid behind him. So that part's exciting. It was nice to see Gunther go on the attack here because I think because I did not want him going full on weak going into Survivor Series, and so the Razor's Edge through the announce table was pretty sick, and Priest got the upper hand going into the weekend. What did you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the same idea. It's I think it's been awesome to see Priest kind of shine in this moment because his entire first reign was kind of shrouded in Judgment Day drama, right? All the way up to him losing the title to Gunther. So I think to see this and to have him actually being like a one-on-one, just no other outside shit going on. It's just him challenging. I think it's great. Like you said, it could have, it could have kind of been a toss-up as to see how the crowd reacts to this, but they've responded fantastically to him. I think him using that, like, his past as not as a crutch, but as like a motivator is huge. And I think it's just relatable. So I think that's part of the reason why the fan base is like, he's completely over with the fans right now. So especially in this feud. So, and just continuing with like kind of our trend talking about Gunther, I think it's refreshing to see Gunther in this kind of vulnerable state because we have never seen that before, not on the main roster at least. So, and I think Priest is a good person because they're very equal in stature and just size, power, strength, everything. So, it's very. I think it's a solid storyline we got going in. I'm excited for this match. Hopefully no outside interference or anything.
Fingers crossed
in this.
Fingers crossed.
I just want to real quick allude to something that we had kind of predicted just based on, which I don't know if it's really a prediction or not, because it was kind of like a no-brainer.
Foregone conclusion.
Yeah, because they announced the women's U.S. title, and they're currently in the midst of a tournament for it. Well, on Raw, Adam Pearce came out and announced the women's IC, which is what we assumed was coming, but just to see it actually come to fruition was fucking so dope.
Yeah.
The belt looks beautiful.
It looks so good. I like it more than the men's.
Yeah,
right now,
it looks so fucking good.
Because it has the white strap and it brings you back to that.
Yeah.
And then they added the blue to it. And I'm just
it looks great. It really looks good. It really does. And so, yeah, I'm just excited for just the continuance of the just propping up of the women's division, because it's completely deserved. They've just been blowing the shit out the water recently, and I think Adam Pearce saying like these women are like the true workhorse people of our company, and it's like, yeah, man, it's pretty fucking true.
I mean, you have to keep them interested in the matches, and they don't have titles minus the heavyweight tag now, but for a long time it was just the heavyweight, so just keeping them entertained. So I fully agree. I was a little disappointed that it was just like a before Raw announcement. It wasn't. I know
they didn't do it live on the show. I agree with that, because like that should have deserved the actual TV time.
I thought it deserved the TV time, but nonetheless, really excited for it. And I do like that it wasn't like an immediate announcement. It let the U.S. women's tournament kind of start developing before it was announced, so that I like it. There can be a focus on this too.
Because when is the U.S. tournament concluding?
I think it's Saturday night's main event is when it.
Oh, the U.S. is doing it at Saturday nights? Okay. So I'm wondering if then they might push the IC tournament past Saturday night's main event.
Oh, I think I would probably guess it's on the next PLE.
Yeah, which was January.
I want to say January.
That's not the Rumble, is it? January is usually the Rumble, isn't it?
Isn't there one more? We'll have to check.
Yeah,
I think there's one more, but maybe not, because I know he's giving the wrestlers some time off. We'll have to check.
We'll have to look.
All right. New Day.
Yeah.
I know we talked about it recently, but it's starting to get some traction where I'm actually interested.
I'm interested too.
And fuck, what a back and forth they had backstage.
Yeah.
It was like truth bombs and a lot of oohs from the crowd, and had me going, shit, did he just say that?
I know.
Oh my God, did he just say that?
I know.
I don't know. It was pretty brutal. They were brutal to each other. I don't know. And next week is the anniversary.
Oh yeah. Sorry, anniversary
show. So curious to see how that plays out.
Yeah.
If they do make it through it, I have a feeling Big E is going to be involved
somehow
on the show. But just damn. And then they mentioned Brock Lesnar again.
True.
They're dropping.
I know they keep
crumbs,
mentioning him, so it's like. now it's kind of just like, when's it going to happen?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. So, who do you think won the face-off backstage?
I think it was Kofi. I think Kofi won. I think his truth bombs were more impactful, were more, because anyone could really say like, oh, you never would have had the run you had without me. But Kofi was just like, you've never had a run.
Yeah.
Me and E are both world champs. You've never held a singles title ever.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that was more like kind of cuts deeper, hits home.
Yeah.
I think it's a bigger point than the fact that, Big E and Xavier helped Kofi in that journey.
Yeah.
But like the fact that Xavier's never even been pushed is kind of a testament to like how he is thought of kind of, as a singles competitor. So
I agree with you, but I think Xavier got the biggest dig in just saying you had to hand it on a silver platter and you squandered it away in 6 seconds. And I felt like that got the biggest reaction.
I agree with the 6 seconds thing, but I don't agree with the handed to him on a silver platter.
No, definitely not.
Not in any way, shape, or form. We already talked about that whole feud on previous episodes, or that the Kofi's whole push and everything. Like he was completely fighting against
all odds.
The authority and all of that stuff. So
and he had a lengthy reign. It wasn't.
Yeah, and when I say the authority, I didn't mean the actual faction, the authority, because that was an obviously like Vince, like authoritarian Vince is what I was talking about.
Yeah, no, exactly, exactly.
Yeah. The next thing I want to talk about was just the fucking War Games match card, dude. The Survivor Series match card is really fucking good. This is one of the better on paper. One of the better match cards, I think, from top to bottom that we've had in a while. Yeah. And we've had some fucking good ones, but like this one, I'm fucking stoked for this, dude.
Hell yeah, man.
I didn't have them all listed, so I'm going to try to do my best. But you got both War Games matchups, which is fucking just in and of itself is great.
Yeah.
You got the World Heavyweight title match, Gunther and Priest. You got the
Intercontinental
IC triple threat, which is going to be a fucking great match. I
think that steals the show.
Yeah. You got Braun, you got Ludwig, and you got Sheamus.
Yeah.
That's going to be a fucking good match, dude. And I loved the way it came about on Raw, and like they're just fucking... They're brawling. They get separated. They're brawling. They get separated. Adam Pearce comes out and just shuts it down and announces it, and then Mike drops it, and then they keep fucking brawling afterward. After like as Pearce is walking away, like I was like, what the fuck, man? Yeah. So the fuck else do we got? We got
the U.S. Championship. Nakamura.
Yeah. You got the U.S. LA Knight and Shinsuke. I think this is like one of the first times in a while that we've had both of the mid-card singles titles for the men being defended on the same PLE, because I feel like they've kind of had that trend of like one's defended like at the go home show before or whatever. Yeah. So I thought that was cool. Yeah. So we're getting both.
And then Gunther Priest.
Yeah, Gunther Priest. Is that it? Is it just
5 matches?
It's just the 5 matches?
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought there was one more.
A little disappointed that Cody KO isn't on.
I know. I was a little too, yeah.
I think this feud deserves to be on a PLE, but I get it. They want to push Saturday night's main event.
Which is kind of a PLE.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not an actual one, but it kind of is. Yeah. Like, it's an extra bonus show or whatever. And, right? So
it's on a Saturday, so.
I don't know what else you would refer to it as outside of it being a PLE.
That's true. Yeah, it's a one-off, so. It's a premium live event.
Yeah. And I mean, Saturday night's main event, wasn't that always like a pay-per-view before anyways? Like what?
No, I think it was just a Saturday night show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, whatever.
I mean, they've only had like one-offs here and there with it since for a little while, so all right. What's the favor? The CM Punk Roman sit down. I didn't think it was the strongest little vignette, but has me intrigued. You got the wise man in the middle. You got 2 big stars in CM Punk Roman sitting across each other, and my initial thoughts has the favor has something to do with Paul Heyman. Like,
Yeah.
he wants CM Punk wants Paul Heyman after everything's said and done. Something like that. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I don't know, because like you initially go to like a favor in wrestling, I feel like is typically title related.
Yeah.
But there's no titles involved with Paul Heyman or Roman or anything like that. So then it kind of makes you wonder, like, does CM Punk want Heyman back? Yeah, that was kind of my initial like go to is like, I think CM Punk wants Paul Heyman back. The original Paul Heyman guy wants his little Paul Heyman back.
Yep.
So
that's what my thoughts are.
yeah,
I
don't know.
It's
gonna be
adding
interesting for sure. It's adding a little bit of there's a little like kind
a wrinkle.
Buried, kind of a wrinkle, a little buried tension now going into War Games between Punk and Roman too now. So I don't know.
You know, at first I thought Roman was being an ass throughout this whole build up to this War Games, but I think he realizes that, like Stone Cold says, don't trust anybody because he's done a lot of wrong. Why would anyone want to team up with him?
Yeah.
You know, like, and
sure.
I think maybe that's his mindset, and so that's why he's questioning so much going into it. It's not just being stubborn. I think he knows that he's got a lot of blood on his hands.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah.
All right. Final thing I want to talk about was just the both the War Games advantage matches. Firstly, I feel like you could look at these advantages as also being disadvantages, because is the advantage your team comes out first? Is that what it is?
So you get the extra person first. So
it's because it's 1-on-1.
Yeah.
But then so your person comes out first, but that means the other team gets the freshest person last.
Exactly.
So it's not really an advantage. Like having the first person,
you get to beat down the one person.
Yeah, you get to beat down the one person, but you can't even win the match until all 5-on-5 are in.
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like that's not an advantage. I feel like that's actually it's a more of a disadvantage. Because wouldn't you rather have the freshest person come in at the end when now you can actually get the pin to win it? Yeah. So, I don't know. That was one thing, kind of a little qualm I had with it, I guess, was just the idea of them calling these War Games advantage matches where I'm like, it's not really an advantage.
The only...
like, in a lot of, like, I'm going to relate this to my career of being a PE teacher in games, right? You think of, like, cornhole or, you know, 1-on-1 or 2-on-2 games like that typically. If you scored first, or if you scored most or whatever, then you usually go first on the next round because it gives the advantage to the losing team because it allows them to go last, and we usually call that the hammer, right? Like you get the hammer, you get to if we're playing cornhole against each other and I throw and score, then I go first on the next round because then that gives you the last throw. That's the advantage, and that's the exact same concept with this, right? Yeah. One person comes out, then one person comes out. One person comes out, back and forth. Yeah. The last one to come out, that should be the advantage.
Yeah. I guess the advantage comes from you get the final numbers game before the last entrant comes in. Yeah. You get to be down 5-on-4 for a while until that fresh one comes
I understand that, but I still feel the advantage is having the freshest person when it counts.
Yes, exactly.
So, anyways, the actual matches themselves, we had Bianca versus Nia Jax on Raw, and it was a good match actually all around. It was really solid. Nia Jax is continuing to kind of push herself up in this singles competitive atmosphere here, which is really good considering she's the WWE champion.
The shoulder press from Bianca to Nia
was fucking dope.
So dope.
And I thought this was a really, really good way for them to, because it was, we had the interference and stuff, but I thought it was a really good use of it, and it was on behalf of the face, right? Like, and I don't feel like you see that very often when a face wins a match due to outside interference, right? It's usually that's like the heel move. But for Bayley to come out, no one else came out, like nothing. Then like Bayley comes out and gets Nia Jax off the rope, knocks her down. Bianca hits the 450 and wins it. It was kind of refreshing because it was something new, right?
Yeah.
It just, like I said, it's not something that you're really used to seeing. So I thought that was a cool way for that match to end and for it to then like be kind of like an obvious, like, okay, Bayley's the 5th member now. Like, she just came out and helped Bianca, and now, like, and obviously that's what we got now. Bayley is a part of the War Games match. So,
Yeah.
what do you think about the women's advantage match?
I thought I agree with everything you said. I thought it was great, and like in that match, I was like, has a face ever won the advantage to a War Games match? And sure enough, they did, and it was odd seeing Bayley come out to to that point. But no, really enjoyed it.
Awesome. The men's advantage match was, for multiple reasons I wanted to put this on here. It was a great fucking match. I mean, you have Jacob Fatu in his first singles match, which was crazy to think of because it didn't feel like that to me because he's just been involved in so much shit.
Exactly.
He's been kind of the shining light since he debuted in the entire Bloodline situation. So, I just thought it was a really good match. Him and Jay, like, that was the perfect match to put him in for his first family, right? And then just like Jay's really good at like helping sell stuff and put somebody over. And I thought he really showed his ability in singles competition and his ability to do that. And then just the match itself was fantastic. Yeah, I did not think for a second that we were actually going to get through this without any outside interference, and we did. So I was like, that was cool, right? Yeah. It was funny because like we got the interference in the women's advantage match, which was kind of unexpected, like we just said, and then the one where you would expect it didn't happen. So I was like, oh, I'm actually good with this. It was just a clean outright win for Jacob Fatu, and the new Bloodline have the advantage going in. I think that's perfect.
I think so too. The match was phenomenal. I didn't catch it myself, but I read a comment that it looked like Jay broke character after the match and was just like kind of smiling for Jacob Fatu.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
I mean, the guy is a beast. Like,
he's so good.
They've held him off in a solos match, but we've talked about him so much about how excited we are. We saw the face off with him with Braun Breaker, and we were just like
dream matches up the ass right now for
the
that
face
guy,
off
man.
with Roman and just everything. So really excited for the future of Jacob Fatu, and I think it was just a great match, and it's just has me that much more excited for War Games tonight. Yeah.
That's what we had, man. Yeah, that's what we got to talk about. Moving on to the banger of the week. I have two, but they're both quick.
I got American Made versus LWO.
Okay,
I thought that match was great. I've been talking about how American Made needs a win, and they got it via interference, but it was creative interference.
It was creative
Unfortunately, it was a roll-up win, which I know you hate, but I think the way it played out, it fit for that match. But Brutus and Julius are incredible athletes, and I think they really shined with the LWO. So that was my banger of the week.
I felt like it was a creative way to use, because how many times have we seen Rey's mask get involved, or any luchador's mask become a turning point in a match? But I thought the spinning it around was fairly unique. I don't remember having seen that necessarily in the past. But I mean, if it has happened, it hasn't happened in a while since that. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not gonna try to fact check that one because I don't feel like that's gonna be easy to find. But I just feel like we haven't seen that in a long time if it has happened. So I thought it was a cool way for him, like, just fucking flipped his mask around. Like, I thought it was inventive. So
no, I 100% agree.
Yeah, my banger of the week, I have two different ones. The first one was the triple threat for the women's U.S. title.
Was really good, too.
We had Michin, we had Lash Legend replacing Jade Cargill, and Piper Niven. It was a really good match, all in all in general. Who we both said we thought would win, did win. Granted, we didn't make that prediction when we knew Lash Legend was in it, because I probably would have picked her, because that would have been fucking dope. But Michin did get the win on it, which was equally cool, because it's good to see her getting pushed. But one move specifically in it I thought was fucking sick. and it was the fucking Hurricane Rana from the top rope from
yeah.
Meech into Lash Legend. Like, I don't feel like I feel like we used to see Hurricane Ranas all the time, especially from like Lita, right?
Yeah.
That was like one of her. She'd hit it from the top rope, but I don't feel like you see Hurricane Ranas that much anymore. Like the true from the top rope or a springboard, land on the shoulders and then flip it, and they hit it so fucking beautifully. Like, and I feel like a lot of times, especially nowadays, like I feel like head scissors and Hurricane Ranas and stuff, the actual, it doesn't usually look as momentum of a flip, like it is actually just fluid as it used to. It just doesn't feel like that to me anymore. And this one felt like one of the best. Like, she hit it, and Lash Legend hit it in fucking stride. Like, it was perfect. I feel like it's sometimes is usually like a delayed flip, right? Like they'll come off and then it's like a and they flip, but this was like fluid. It was perfect. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that match was really good. I'm still just over the moon about Lash Legend.
She's fantastic.
Continues to shine in all her matches. And then again, we got a name for it now, but the lash extension finisher move is just so cool.
It's such a fucking
It's
cool move,
awesome.
dude. It's so good.
But yeah, anyway.
My second banger of the week, and this one's quick, but I just, and this is something that's just kind of like me being a nerd about certain things. It was Shinsuke hitting the mist on LA Knight. I was always a nerd for Tajiri hitting the mist. And then when Asuka started doing it too, like I think it's such a unique thing. Yeah. And so to see Shinsuke then hit it, and it was fucking out of nowhere. I mean, he had like just finished a really good match. So like, I don't know what it is. They have like a capsule or something. Like he had to have it somewhere on him, and then had to put it. There's no way he kept that in his mouth the entire thing, maybe unless it's like built into his.
Ref hands it to him.
Maybe, or if it's like built into his mouth guard or something. I don't know, but like, it was completely unexpected for him to hit that after a match like that, because it wasn't like it was a quick match. Like it was a full out, legit, 5 to 10-ish minute match probably. And then LA Knight comes in for the attack and just fuck. I was like, whoa! And it's black mist, which was even cooler, because everything we've always seen has been like green from Tajiri, or I think Asuka's had blue before.
Yeah, she's had blue, but it was green at first.
Yeah, green at first, but yeah. So I think it was just like black mist, like it fits his character so well. It was perfect. So
honestly, I thought I missed it at first. No pun intended, but no, like I was like, how do you get the black stuff on his face? And then when they showed the replay,
so quick,
it was literally so quick,
so fast. And I at first was like, what is going on right now? Because it looked like LA Knight like went to punch and he was like double punching. Yeah. And I was like, what is going on? But then I was like, oh shit, he just got misted, man. Yeah. All right. Belts question of the week, Tim. I posed this. I said Survivor Series. It's today. We're driving up to it after this episode. What's your favorite traditional Survivor Series elimination match of all time?
Yeah, it's a shame they don't do it. I like the War Games, but it's also like, can't they just add one?
I wanted to talk to you about that too. Yeah, I saw a suggestion from somebody on like a Reddit thread or something that was like, they should alternate men's and women's every year.
Oh,
so it'd be like
the
women have War Games this year while the men are in a traditional, and then the next year they swap or something like that.
That's an awesome idea. Yeah. I like that.
Because I agree. I miss the traditional Survivor Series matches. Yeah. They were fucking awesome.
My old time, and I've talked about it before, so I have another one if you won't allow it, but the winner takes all, WWE versus the Alliance.
Yeah, no, I think that counts
that
for
one
sure.
was incredible. But if I was not allowed to say that, it was 2014 Team Cena versus the Authority. Yeah. Sting debuted after the match.
That was the Ziggler.
Ziggler went on a
went on a run, and like what a push for him and everything.
Yeah, so that one was awesome. But the winner takes all just felt like huge stakes at risk for that match, and just the whole year's line story leading to it was really good, and the drama in the match. So that easily takes the cake. As the Survivor Series just another side note, sorry. One of my favorite Survivor Series was 2019. It had the theme of NXT versus SmackDown versus Raw, and all the matches were like triple threat theme, which I thought was dope. So
yeah, a cool way to push the NXT.
Yeah, exactly.
I went with the 2003 Survivor Series match, Team Austin versus Team Bischoff. There were some really high stakes in that, with like the expectation whatever team loses, the person had to resign or whatever. And it also, I felt like, was one of the best traditional Survivor Series matches that had that high of stakes, where the heel team ended up winning, right? But this match included one of the best performances, arguably of all time, by an individual person in one of these matches. And that was Shawn Michaels, bloodied and battered and just fucking putting the team on his back in a losing effort. But it was still, it was just great.
Yeah.
Looking back at clips of it and stuff, it was just like, so fucking good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Dude, like it.
All right. That brings us to Blockbusters. Here we go. Keeping Blockbusters nice and short this week, but I've been wanting to talk about this movie, and I know this is not necessarily a good theme for me to continue, because I keep putting movies on that don't have a ton of information. But I've been wanting to talk about this one, but I've been trying to wait for more information to come out about it.
Yes. Agreed.
But it got to the point where I kept seeing things, and the reason I put it on is because of the fucking cast.
Yeah.
And I finally saw just recently the most recent casting of it, and I was like, I'm fucking putting this on here, because still don't fully know what it's going to be about. There is a prominent theory, but just the cast itself, I was like, it's worth fucking talking about. It has a release date. It has multiple fucking cast members, and it's an ensemble cast, as are most of Christopher Nolan's films, right? So this is Christopher Nolan's next film. Says, while Nolan hasn't commented on what his next movie may be about, the latest prominent theory suggests it may involve aerial helicopter cops, one of whom is older and one of whom is younger. It has also been reported that Nolan's next movie will utilize a never-before-used IMAX technology. So when that blurb kind of first came out was like right after the first two castings were announced for this, and the first two people casted for this were Matt Damon and Tom Holland. Yeah. So from that, the assumption was that Matt Damon would be the older aerial helicopter cop, and Tom Holland would be the younger. That's the theory, at least, if that all holds true. Makes sense to me. But the other cast members that have been announced for this, so Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, Zendaya, Lupita Nyong'o. I'm not sure if I just said that right or not. And then Anne Hathaway. And the most recent one, which was where I was like, all right, I got to put this on, because this cast is just getting fucking explosive right now, is Charlize Theron.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what a fucking cast. And for Chris Nolan's next movie now to follow up Oppenheimer, which was like swept the awards, and then have to put a cast together like this is just fucking exciting. So I just wanted to throw that on there and briefly talk about that. The current release date is set for July 17th of 2026. So a little under 2 years away from that. But yeah, I just thought it was worth mentioning, to kind of plant those seeds of excitement for it.
Yeah, I like you have been wanting to talk about it just because it's Christopher Nolan.
Yeah. It's hard not to, but it's like, give me more information. And finally I was like, all right, the cast is big enough. We can put it on here.
Yeah, I did see the blurb with the newest cast listing, and I was just like, oh, dude,
it just keeps getting
stacked and stacked. And
they're putting together a hell of a Survivor Series team.
Yeah. No, I mean, even if that is the details is aerial helicopter cops, I'm in for that. It sounds awesome.
I know. So I don't know what the plot would actually be, but whatever works for me.
And Christopher Nolan, we trust. So
yeah, dude, for sure.
Yeah. All right. I put down The Order. Again, big sucker for based on true events, and that's what this movie is. It's based on a book called The Silent Brotherhood, and the synopsis is: for over a year, a series of bold daylight bank robberies and armored car heists leaves law enforcement baffled and the public panicked throughout the Pacific Northwest. As the attacks become increasingly violent, FBI agent Terry Huss becomes convinced that the robberies are the work of a domestic terrorist gang that planned to use the loot to finance an armed uprising against the U.S. government. Based on true story, the order follows Husk and his team into the tangled world of white supremacists to try to head off a violent uprising that could shatter the nation. As the militia builds a war chest of over $4 million, Husk pursues the malevolent racist Bob Matthews to a final bloody standoff that will go down in U.S. history. Based on true events that took place between September 1983 and December 1984. We got a release date of December 6, 2024, starring Jude Law and Nicholas Hoult, and director Justin Kurzel. The trailer for this is just insane.
Yeah, the trailer looks really good. It's just like action-packed, mystery, corners, twists, like everything. Like it looks super good. I'm a huge Jude Law fan too.
Yeah,
like,
I think this is a perfect role for him.
Most things in this, like that he's in, I love. And then Nicholas Hoult, at least in the trailer for this, looks menacing and like and he looks great in that role. So,
which is crazy because I know him mostly from the X-Men.
Yeah.
He's Hank McCoy, and stuff. So, no, I think this movie looks great. I'm really, really excited for this one.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him in this role because he is also playing Lex Luthor in James Gunn's upcoming Batman movie, Superman movie.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it. It looks really good. Like the fucking trailer, when I watched that, I was like, "Whoa, that looks so good!" I'm so excited.
Yeah.
It comes out this December, which is fucking exciting.
Right around the corner, next weekend.
Yeah, next weekend. That's already next weekend. That's crazy. All right. We're back with the Triple B Game Show, bringing back another one on our carousel of games. This one is Tim, guess the movie based off of the hints, the one-word hints that I give you. Okay, so after each one, again, I have total of 10 hints. You're going to take a guess after each one to just kind of get an idea of it.
All right. Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion.
No.
Oh. Damn it.
That first hint, fraud.
Now You See Me.
No. Second hint, girlfriend.
No Hard Feelings.
No. Good guess, though. Third hint, surprise.
Reindeer Games.
No. Hint number 4, stick.
Surprise, stick, girlfriend, fraud. Lion King.
No. Hint number 5, spit.
Damn it, these are hard clues.
You're going to be so mad, though, because they all make complete sense. Oh, man.
All right, keep going.
Clue number 6, court. Kind of a scenic hint for you. Let me make that hint a little bit better. Courtroom. Just so you're not thinking like a basketball court or something like that.
Yeah, no, I with fraud in court, I was like, oh.
Yeah, okay.
Liar, liar.
No.
There's no stick in that. I was
In the right vein. Hint number 7, ketchup.
I know it's not Dumb and Dumber because you said that last time. Is this obvious?
No, I think this one is harder than Dumb and Dumber was than the last one we did. I do think I made this one a little bit more difficult, but I think once you get it, or I have to tell you it, if you don't get it,
pissed.
you're going to be like, oh my God, it makes so much sense.
Wedding Crashers.
No. This one's a big hint.
Oh, there is no
Clint. Clue number 8, Hooters.
Big Daddy?
Yeah. Yes. The last two hints. Hint number 9 was Frankenstein.
Okay.
And then hint number 10 was Scuba.
Scuba Steve.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. When you get Big Daddy and then you think back, you're like fraud, girlfriend, surprise,
Yep.
stick, spit, court, like all of it. You're like, oh my God, it makes so much sense. Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Nice.
glad I got that one.
Yeah,
I would have been mad.
I am too. I'm not happy you got it. I was like, Hooters is like a dead
Yeah.
giveaway though. That should almost be the 10th one, but whatever. All right, awesome, nice job. Moving on to the Blockbusters question of the week. I also posed this. It's 2 days now after Thanksgiving, so it is officially Christmas time. Tim, what is your holy grail of Christmas movies? I want you to list your top 5 favorite Christmas movies in order from lowest to highest, so 5 to 1, and we'll alternate back and forth between answers.
All right. So starting from the lowest, I'm going to go Four Christmases.
That's a good
Reese
one.
Witherspoon, Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, that's a good one. This one's going to be very polarizing because it's not a traditional Christmas movie by any means. It is not Die Hard, don't worry. But it is in that vein, and it's. I put this one on here because it's me and my brothers. We always watched this movie like at Dad's house Christmas morning, and it's Lethal Weapon 1.
Okay.
It's not a traditional Christmas movie, I know, but it takes place during Christmas.
Just like Die Hard.
Yeah, like the cars crashed through Murtaugh's front door, and he has a Christmas tree up, so it's close enough. There's quite a few Christmas songs on the soundtrack of that, and it's just one that for me I've always watched.
I like it.
Right, either Christmas Eve or Christmas morning. So.
All right. I'm going Jingle All the Way, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's a good one too.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
I'm going Christmas Vacation.
Okay.
Is number 4 for me.
Classic. Old
Yep.
classic there.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm going Elf, number 3.
Okay. All right. Again, classic.
Yeah.
I'm going Jim Carrey's A Christmas Carol.
Okay.
The animated
Yeah.
one. Yeah, I've watched that historically now on Christmas Eve every year.
Oh, nice.
I love that movie.
All right. I'm going to kind of follow suit and Jim Carrey, How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
All right. Number 2 for me is Home Alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Go to every year.
That's my brothers. Like, they watched Home Alone 2. I mean, it was all year long.
Yeah.
But numerous times Home Alone
Yeah.
2 was on our TV.
All right. Number 1. What's the number 1 overall pick for you?
Gonna throw everyone off here. I'll Be Home for Christmas with Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Jessica Biel.
Okay, yeah. There you go.
It just reminds me of watching Christmas movies with my like aunts, uncles, at my grandma's house, and just love the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. My number 1 pick, and it's oddly enough, it's the first one that we had doubled up on our list, but this is Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I've loved that movie since the first time I saw it when it came out in 2000, and I was like 6 or 7 years old.
Still holds up too.
It's an amazing movie. There's a lot of adult humor in it. It's fully for the kids though at the same time. And yeah, it's I have the costume. I've always loved it. I used to watch this like once a month growing up and into like even my earlier adult years. I would watch it just regularly because I love it. It's one of my most quotable movies. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
I was surprised we did not have more. I thought we would have more, matched up.
I know. That's what I was thinking
but
too.
Also would have been surprised if we didn't have one matched up.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Love it.
Awesome, man. Well, that wraps up episode 26. We got to finish our cocktails here, and then we got to get on the road to War Games.
War Games.
Cheers.
Cheers.